Hello there, and today we are going to show you how I changed all my components, my internal components, from this ugly 7-year-old HP case to a new one, and which I showed you in my other video on the unboxing, so you'll see that in a little bit. So here's the back panel, how this looks. So just like a regular HP case, that's the power supply. This is the inside, and you can tell that the wire management, cable management is not that good, you know. Hopefully the new case has something better for us. Hopefully the new case looks like a little bit like this, where it's a lot cleaner, but we'll see. So these are all the headers. I'm not going to use that anymore. The case came with its own headers. This is how it looks like, all empty, and you can tell that the panel doesn't have any wire cable management space in the back behind the motherboard, and the new one does. There's one fan. My new case has two. My new case has two fans. That only has one, and my motherboard has a capacity for 2 fans, so that's great. Alright, here you see all the parts. You see the hard drive, the DVD player, CD writer, the power supply, which is only 384 watts, by the way. That's the case that I showed you, that I unboxed last week. That's the graphics card, XFX RX Radeon 460. So first we're going to set in the power supply, just because I don't want this to maybe fall on something else, because it's a heavier piece. You know, just get it out of the way and try to get the cables, you know, guided without having to maybe potentially interfere with something else. You can tell that's a little bit loose, but that's fine. This is the motherboard of how it looks just placed. I did not screw it in yet. This is how it looks. I didn't take out the CPU, the fan, the RAM. That's still all in there. And hopefully when we put everything in, it'll look nice and neat. You see the other fan right there. Supposedly it's supposed to be red, but I don't see a red light on it. These are all the connections for the header, the power supply, the power LED, not the power supply, sorry, the power button, the power LED, the hard drive LED, and then you have the reset switch, the HD audio, and then the reset light or something. I don't know, there's like a bunch of lights in there. So and they're all loose, which I really don't like, but hopefully we can connect those. And I think I just need to look at the manual for the motherboard and make sure that everything's connected nicely. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab those cables and put them underneath, or behind, I guess you could say, behind the motherboard, and it has slots right there, and then it's going to come out through here, through those little holes, and I'm going to be able to connect those without having wires all over the place, hopefully. Yeah, so that's how it looks. I took off the panel just so I can have better range of motion with everything, with all the cables. So I took those out, and I actually made a mistake, and I'll tell you guys about it later, but I did that. You know, all the SATA cables. My power supply is non-modular, so I'm kind of screwed with the SATA cables. They're kind of like daisy chained. The power supply cables are daisy chained. The SATA cables are daisy chained. The powers, little like the 6-pin connectors, those are daisy chained. The old school 4 pins, you see those there, those are also daisy chained, which was annoying. So I actually had to use all the SATA cables, one for the DVD drive, one for the hard drive, because you'll see that the one cable was not long enough to go to all 3 of them. So here I am putting in the motherboard, and this is when I actually screw it on really nice and tight, so you can not move anything. So that's how it's going to look. But I do need to put the little back panel, so I need to do that. Alright, so I put the back panel and I put the motherboard. I already screwed it on. I'm going to try to put the graphics card, but the problem was with all the cables connected, I had to unplug everything and just kind of put them behind the graphics card, because the graphics card is actually kind of long. It does fit in the case, not a problem. The problem is the cables having to go around the actual graphics card itself. But it fits fine. You can tell there's still like 3 inches of room. So if you want to get a larger graphics card, you can. And with this motherboard, it has a it's like reinforced for the slot. Oh, and then make sure that the power supply is at 115, not 230 or something else, because then you can, unless you're using 230, but don't do that, you know. So that's how that looks. So you see the little wires coming out of there. I already connected a couple right here, and the hard drive, already connected that in there. I also connected the hard drive. What I did was I actually connected the hard drive on the bottom part. I wasn't put it all the way in the bottom, but I decided to put it a little bit higher. The little kind of cage for the hard drive has Allen wrench screws, so I couldn't take those off, so I just put it on one side. So I need to get an Allen wrench set and make sure that I'm actually able to unmount it, put the hard drive in, screw it on really tight, and then mount it back. So this is what it looks like on the side. I already put the DVD drive in there, as you can tell. And the problem with the DVD drive was that if I put it on too high on the top slot, it'll kind of interfere with the cables, and I don't want to do that. And also, if you look at the hard drive, the way it was mounted, it didn't fit well with the fan, which I heard other people mention, and it's true. So if you want to put more hard drives in there that are 3.5 up in there, you'll have to remove the fan or get a smaller fan or do something. But with the fan that they give you, you can't really use it. One last thing about the fans, they had the older connections, the large metal pins connectors, and then the little ones. So I was glad about that. So now here it is connected. I already plugged in everything. I put it on the bottom, on the floor, just to test it out because all the cables were there. And let's see if it turns on. So there's the power button, and I connected everything. I made sure everything was connected correctly. It didn't turn on, or it's a good thing that I remembered it. The switch always turned that one off. So turn that on, press the button again, and we're able to rock and roll. So you see that. And then we can look at the screens. And actually did power on. It took a little bit longer than usual to power on. It went into the little, into that DOS prompt. The gaming wallpaper, when it boots up, you see the hard drive light going on. There's a little, I don't know if you can tell from here, but there's a little light coming out of the audio port, specifically the microphone. And I think this is an LED from the motherboard or something else. I don't think it has anything to do with the actual audio. So here we have the two monitors set up here. They're both connected with HDMI, but one of them has a converter or an adapter for DisplayPort. And I plug in the DisplayPort into my motherboard, my graphics card, and then the HDMI into the graphics card, and then they both go HDMI into the two monitors. But then I plug in my speaker, my large bar that you see there. This is how it looks all set up. You can tell that it booted up into my login screen and everything, so everything was fine. I did test out the USB 3 headers and the USB 2 headers, and they all work fine. I haven't tested the audio headers, but that's fine. The only problem I see here was that I don't really see the red light coming out from the front, from the fan. You can kind of see it, but you can't really see it. Even without the light from the phone, you can't really see it that well. But it works, it looks fine. It looks really nice, actually. I put some Binding of Isaac stickers on the case, and that looks pretty cool. That makes it look like it's more like mine, not just from the store. So far, I'm happy with it. I would like to point out that if you want to do upgrades to your system and install more hard drives and another graphics card, first of all, you need a bigger motherboard, not just mine, the one that I have. But it is possible. It's going to be a little bit of a tight fit because of the fan, or you'll have your hard drive sticking out, and that's not really ideal. For me, right now, it's fine. I'm not going to complain about it. It costs $25, $33 or $34 with tax, shipping, and the case, and that's fine. I'm okay with it. You can put in another DVD drive or another 3.5. So if your motherboard supports it, you can put more headers or something else like that, Yeah, so overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I just put the DVD drive in the middle just because I like the symmetry of the top and the bottom, the front flaps or whatever you want to call them. I still have two PCIe X4 version 2 slots there. I don't know what I'm going to use them for. I was thinking maybe Wi-Fi or USB, but it might just be cheaper to put in USB adapters for that. Alright, well, thank you very much for watching and listening. I will catch you on my next video.